This is going to be the first lecture of our innovation and entrepreneurship series. Now I have already told you last class में तुम लोग introductory video देख के जाना. इसमें मैंने बताया था कि स्टार्टअप क्या होता है, एक आइडिया क्या होता है, इनोवेशन कैसे बनता है, एक entrepreneur क्या होता है, उसके क्या क्या फैक्टर्स होते हैं. बट अब हम लोग उसको थोड़ा सा डेप्थ में डील करेंगे, राइट. प्लीज गो थ्रू माई लास्ट लेक्चर, यू विल गेट द आइडिया कि आइडिया क्या होता है, इनोवेशन क्या होता है एंड एवरीथिंग क्या होता है. अब अगर मैं एक बात करूं कि इफ आई टॉक अबाउट अ प्रोडक्ट, सबसे पहले इनोवेशन क्या होता है. You have an idea, you evaluate that idea, you develop a plan, then you manage the resource. फिर अब वो आइडिया फिजिबल है कि नहीं, उससे मैं कुछ कमर्शियल वेंचर कर सकता हूं कि नहीं. अगर मैं उससे कुछ कमर्शियल वेंचर कर दिया, then that becomes a what? Then that becomes a business, and that entire process is called entrepreneurship. So basically, for any startup, you need an idea, and that idea should be absolutely original, right? And that should be solving a problem. Is that understood? Now, first thing, today we are going into the technical details and the nitty gritty of a startup process. First of all, let me tell you two things, that for a startup or for a business to grow, you need money, right? Now, funding can be from various sources. Funding means getting the money, and the first two foremost source of that is angel investor and venture capitalist. I'm talking about angel investor and venture capitalist, right? If I talk about angel investor, angel means भगवान का भेजा हुआ कोई दूत, right? Or we say that farishta, right? Angel, somebody who came in our life and then just flabbergasted it. Also someone can come and destroy it, but that's a different issue. So here we are talking about angel investor. That means a person has enough money, he is a HNI, right? The full form, high net worth individual. High net worth individual. High net worth individual. Prerna, you take the notes from this lady sitting in front, na? With paltha waltha and all. बेटा एकदम कंफर्टेबल ना घर है ना, नींद आ रहा है, थकावट, पीठ दर्द, थोड़ा मेहनत करो, थोड़ा अच्छे से विद्या ज्ञान का नहीं बैठो, जहाँ जैसे बैठना बैठो. So we are talking about angel investor. Angel investor is basically a high net worth individual. That means he is having a lot of asset, he is having a lot of money. So he invests his own money. He is not some company or something, or he is not pooling money from outside. He is basically investing his own money. That individual is an angel investor. And if he is investing his own money, then of course that money will be not that much as compared to an IPO or a venture capitalist. So that money will be sufficient enough to start the startup process. That means now, and venture capitalist I'm also telling. So venture capitalist is a company. Like capitalist means punjiwadi. Their main job is to get money, right? Invest money and get higher returns from it. And venture matlab that is only their journey. Matlab their main forte is only seeing that which startup is doing good, which startup is generating enough revenue. So I will invest my money in that particular startup, right? Venture capitalist, like they are like vultures. Where there is startup, I will go and I will invest my money. So now this was the basic concept. Now how do you define it? Angel investor is a high net worth individual who invests his own money in the early phase of a startup. And venture capitalist is a company that invests pooled money or series money. Series means money getting again and again from various sources, and it combines it and invests in the later stage of that startup, especially when that startup has generated enough revenue or is in a process of generating revenue. That means there are two types of startup: pre-revenue startup and post-revenue startup. Pre-revenue startup matlab that revenue has, that startup has just developed a beta version or a alpha version or a MVP or a prototype. It is not yet earning enough money. The revenue is not started. Whereas post-revenue means the product is now sellable. The company is willing to invest. Why? Because that product is now in the market. That product is market fit, and revenue is being generated. So now I'll talk about the difference between angel investor and venture capitalist, because what generally happens in an examination like CMAT, they will give you 3-4 statements regarding the difference between angel investor and venture capitalist. Now CMAT is no easy exam. Why? Because the examination contains various sections. one of the most lengthiest examination in the management world, UPSC type syllabus hai. And then at the end of the day, they'll give 4, 4, 5, 5 statements. If you look at the last 2, 3 years ka paper, they'll give 4, 4, 5, 5 statements, and then how many of the statements are correct, how many of the statements are wrong, which is similar to Union Public Civil Services, right? Right, UPSC civil services. So the question that they might ask is, they will give you 4, 5 points on the difference between angel investor and venture capitalist, and you will need to identify it, right? So the first thing is angel investor and venture capitalist. Let me draw a basic diagram, right? I've already given it in the notes, but then again, for better understanding, venture capitalist. He is an HNI, matlab he is an individual, high net worth individual, high net worth individual. That means he's having a huge amount of asset with himself, right? This is a company. So it will give pooled money, pooled investments. That means from various sources, collect karke it will do. And this individual will give his own money. Of course, he will invest in the early stage, right? Because that amount of own money will be enough just to start the company, engine ko dhakka marne ke liye, right? And here it will invest in the later stage. Now see, of course, since he is investing in the early stage, so even if the company does not do good, he can pull out. So we can say that the amount is not that big, so he's having less risk. But now it is, you know, these companies are investing in the later stage. That means there might be a possibility that they might face risk, right? High risk. And since you are just in the beginning of that company, you are an investor just at the beginning of the company, you can easily pull out. That means you have more flexible exit option, right? But here you have less flexible exit option. यार कंपनी तो अब अच्छा खासा revenue generate कर रहा था, then you invested your money. Now you have invested a hell lot of money. अब निकलोगे भी तो कैसे निकलोगे, लॉस लेके ही निकलना पड़ेगा, राइट? सो इट हैज लेस फ्लेक्सिबल एग्जिट ऑप्शन. सो यू अंडरस्टूड द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स एंड वेंचर कैपिटलिस्ट, राइट? नाउ डू अ बिट ऑफ रिसर्च. I have given some venture capitalist के name in my notes. Memorize them, because what CMAT has done in the past few years, they will give you 4 or 5 companies name and ask you how many of these companies are angel investors, or how many of these companies are maybe venture capitalists, or which an individual is an angel investor. Like if I give you some examples, Sequoia Capital, Sequoia, Sequoia Capital is a venture capitalist, whereas Ratan Tata, late great Ratan Tata, he was an angel investor, right? Got it? Even Ambani and Adani are angel investors. They invest in certain companies. Even Bill Gates now is an angel investor, right? Got it? So angel investor is basically an individual, or basically a trust on the name of that individual, right? And venture capitalist, Sequoia Capital is a company. Tiger Investors, ऐसे करके 3-4 और company है. I have given few names. You also research and add on latest, because I have given names ना. But हो सकता है market में कोई latest venture capitalist आ गया हो. So you just search and homework. Last class also I gave 4 or 5 homeworks, right? That whatever homework I am giving, those are keywords. I am giving you 30-35 page ka note, value addition note, explaining all the concepts. But you also have to do a bit of work from your side. Only then the memory will get consolidated with these information, right or wrong? So थोड़ा बहुत research खुद से भी करोगे. Watch few Shark Tank का episodes, not मस्ती मसाला entertainment वाला, right? Product वाला. What they say, gross margin, cost of goods sold, revenue. Of course, I will explain them, but then थोड़ा सा खुद से भी करना, हाँ? Because it's a conceptual topic, and it's a topic not only important from CMAT point of view, but it will also help you in your interviews, GD, PI, ZAT, and when you go into the institution as an MBA grad, right? And post that also, because you will be mostly working in startups or companies which will be dealing with this. Now, what is the order of release of a product? I'm talking about order of release. सबसे पहले you will get an idea. What you will get? Idea. After that idea, you will go to POC. Now, I told you that you need to evaluate your idea. How is that evaluation done? Is it done, okay, माथा में, अरे यार मेरा idea लग रहा है हो जाएगा? No, it's not that simple, right? So there is something called POC, proof of concept. Concept is your idea. Proof of concept, that means either with the help of statistics or certain trends or interpolation, or with the help of science, or any other technical data, you will have to prove that your idea which is there on the paper will be commercially, economically feasible and viable and will be generating significant amount of revenue. Because if you don't have that proof of concept, idea तो इंडिया में हर चाय दुकान पे है, right? People will give you several ideas, right? They will have thousands of ideas, but if you don't have that proof of concept, if you don't have that evidence to show that your business idea will be feasible, then what will happen? No one will believe you, no one will trust you, and no one will invest in your company. Is that understood? Am I correct or am I wrong? Right? So proof of concept का समझ में आ गया? English is okay ना? English में सब okay? Why I am telling in English? Because no examination is going to be in Hindi. Right? And you need to understand these concepts अच्छे से. English में, क्योंकि statement English में आएंगे. थोड़ा सा इसलिए GK and innovation part I will do it in English, right? जरूरी है अब. So I'll also explain in Hindi. Proof of concept मतलब आप evidence दे रहे हो कि आपका business idea practical में भी possible है. Practicality में भी it is possible. And technical definition, a proof of concept is basically an evidence based on statistics or technical data or any other scientific evidence that your business idea is not only on paper, but it is commercially, technically, and economically viable and feasible. It is going to generate significant amount of revenue. So that people will trust you and your idea. नहीं तो चाय दुकान पे तो जाके अरे भाई मेरे को एक सुबह आइडिया आया, हाँ ओके यू हैव आइडिया, वेरी गुड, अब क्या करेगा इसमें, देखते हैं क्या करेंगे. ऐसा इमीडिएट नहीं सोचा है लेकिन सोचा है, राइट? somebody said it in one web series, ठीक है? But that is not how it is ना. You have to show that okay, मेरा आइडिया है कि मैं एक बाइक कंपनी बनाऊंगा, bike taxi like Rapido का example I'm giving. Okay, how will you make it? Do you have any plan? Do you have any idea how a software is made? Do you have any links? Do you know what are the legal regulations required? किस country में खोलोगे, किस space में खोलोगे, क्या क्या commercial license चाहिए बाइक को? Do you have this idea? No ना. So idea is not दिमाग की बत्ती जली you eat Mentos. No. It should be backed up by legal, political, economical, scientific, technical, and social and environmental factors, taking into consideration all those, right? Pestle analysis, SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, threats, SWOT analysis needs to be done. Everything needs to be done. So this is nothing but proof of concept. Idea हो गया, उसको proof कर दिया. Now the other thing that you will have is prototype. Prototype. This is the order of release. मतलब एक product कैसे बनता है? Order of release. I am not writing it in very good handwriting here because everything is there in the notes which I will provide after the class. So you just have to understand this. So what is the order of release? First of all, you have to have an idea. Then you have to have a proof that your idea is technically, economically, and scientifically, and also commercially viable, feasible. Then you need to build a prototype. Prototype मतलब ढांचा, basic structure, right? Or we can say blueprint. Prototype is the most basic structure, right? Prototype समझ गए? जैसे if I want to make a mobile phone. So a basic structure of that mobile phone only with keypads and all, that is prototype. Also you see dummy na, in mobile showrooms you go and all, you see dummy, they are not sellable, right? But they are dummy. So that is just very basic. They will not contain any feature, just a design or something. So prototype is design, right or wrong? Uske baad we will have MVP. We will have MVP, minimum viable product, which is just before alpha version. The minimum viable product is that the product is having the basic minimum features for selling it to the public. Matlab, suppose, let me give this example of mobile. Let me give the example of this mobile only. ढांचा is तो dummy एकदम, prototype. मतलब ऐसा design होगा and all. Now minimum viable product means now this product has the basic set of features that is required to be sold. That means it will have one छोटा सा camera, right? One calling आने जाने वाला facility, few app downloads, and few installed Google का, or if it is Android then Google or something का app, right? एकदम basic. Now I can sell it to the public, but I will not sell it to the outside public. I will sell it to the inside public, and I will tell them to तुम लोग 6-7 महीने you use it. You use it for 6-7 months and tell me that how is it? How it is working, right? You give me the feedback. Now on the basis of that feedback, what I will do, I will create the alpha version, right? Now alpha version is only almost complete. The feedback is there. Accordingly, I have changed. But before making it before launching it in the platform, like एकदम पब्लिक के लिए शोरूम में डालने से पहले, what I'll have to do, I'll have to check ना कि once it is launched तब कुछ गलती ना पकड़ा जाए. Because see, till the point when the product is with me, whatever happens, I have no problem because it has not become public. But once it goes to the public and something happens, then my company will not earn a goodwill. Then my company's name will become, what? Will come in a state of lather. Right? जब तक मैं अपने घर में कुछ भी कांड कर रहा हूं, that's not an issue. Whenever I step outside, वहां मैं कांड कर दिया तो जग जाहिर हो जाएगा, right? There is an English saying, अरे तुम इतना हंस क्यों रहा है, कितना बार जाहिर हुआ है तेरा? एक कहावत है ना, वॉश योर डर्टी लिनन्स इन पब्लिक, इंग्लिश में, यानी डिस्क्लोज योर प्राइवेट अफेयर्स इन पब्लिक. सो till the point I make a problem in my product, internally it is all right. But now, minimum viable product, the customer has given me a certain feedback, and that's okay. Okay, I've incorporated it. Now the final stage is launched. Before launching of the final product, एकदम ऑनलाइन जैसे आईफोन 17 आता है, तो तुम्हें क्या लगता है आईफोन 17 एक दिन में आ गया होगा? नो ना. Now one thing is left, which is called testing. You have to test the product, right? And that testing has basically two stages: alpha version and beta version. Alpha is internal testing and beta is external testing. Well, alpha, the product is almost complete. In alpha version, the product is almost complete and you give it to your internal testers to check for any bug, any error, any other problem, right? ठीक है? Now they have given the bug that ये sir ये problem आ रहा है, this problem is there, that problem is there. What generally happens? What generally happens? I will fix the bug, right? But there might be a possibility, a second layer. Now I'll fix that bug. Now the product is ekdam 100% complete, but there might be a possibility that internal testers might have missed something. Why? I'll tell you. Suppose if I write something, ठीक है, and I check it with my eyes, then I will not be able to find many errors in that. But if you guys check, every individual who will go and go through the written part will find at least one or any way, very small mistake, because our eye will not be able to catch our fault. बुरा जो देखन मुझसे वो है ना, something बुरा जो देखन मैं चला मुझसे बुरा ना कोई. Because even if हम लोग बुरे हैं बहुत ज्यादा, तब भी दुनिया हमें बुरी लगेगी. हम कचरा इधर उधर फेंकेंगे, दूसरा कचरा फेंक देगा, उसको गरियाएंगे, right? That is there ना, understood? So that's why we will hire an external tester. Now we will incorporate whatever feedback they have given and we will finally make the beta version, and this beta version will have two phases: closed beta and open beta. Closed beta मतलब हम लोग पैसे देके बोल रहे हैं you come and test my product. That will, I will invite external testers to come and test my product and बताओ कि कोई इसमें गड़बड़ी है कि नहीं. And other I told open beta. Open beta में even those people whom I have not invited, they can register on my website and they can say that I will also contribute to your product. Understood? And then with their specifications and feedbacks, we will make our complete product and we will launch it in the market. Understood? This is how the product works. Idea, proof of concept, then prototype, then minimum viable product, then alpha version, then beta version. Idea means the problem about on which you are thinking something, the concept. Proof of concept means those technical and scientific evidence or statistical evidence that shows that your idea is not only, a lion on the paper, but it's also technically, economically, commercially viable and feasible, right, in practicality. Third, we have prototype, the most basic structure of the product that we call dhacha in Hindi, or we can say blueprint. Fourth, we have the minimum viable product. MVP full form, minimum viable product, right? So for minimum viable product, the basic thing that is needed is it contains almost all the features, and that is given to the internal customers. They will use and they will give you the feedback. You will incorporate that feedback and then you will create the alpha version, which basically states that the product is complete. It is now in the testing stage. In alpha version, the product will be tested by the internal testers. They will give feedback on certain bugs and errors and you will fix it. And after you fix it, you will then open your product or version to external testing, which generally happens in the beta version. So beta version is a product, program, software or app that is now almost complete. It is just left for being tested by the external testers, which you invite and you pay money to test. They are called closed beta. And those who willingly want to come and help you, they are called open beta. Understood? Now your product, right? Suppose you make a product, right? Idea तो कईयों के पास हो सकते हैं, but you also have to protect your idea ना, or someone will steal my idea and will copy it. For that we have intellectual property protection rights, right? Patent सुने होगे, trademark सुने होगे, copyright सुने होगे, and there is one more which has been recently added, that is called trade secret. Trade secret. So what I am talking now? Patent, intellectual property rights. That means intellectual property protection rights. This note, right? These notes that I have made, right? This innovation and entrepreneurship note that I am giving is the creation of my mind. So it's an intellectual property. This lecture that I am giving, right, is again the creation of my mind. I am speaking to you all, right? 1 ghanta I will be giving a lecture, 1 hour. So everything is coming from my mind only, my knowledge only, right? I am not copying it from someone. That is my internal experience and my knowledge that I have gained. So that is an intellectual right, matlab dimagi gyan. And that should be protected. Or else somebody can copy my notes and just he will replace the name and he will sell it in the market. That can be possible. Now if I talk about this one, right, the learner sub ka logo or the Q point ka logo which is there, right? Here in the YouTube video you can see. Kidhar haath dikhao main? नहीं इधर है ना. मैं उधर देख रहा हूँ किसमें दिखा रहा है. That is 3-4 minutes slow ना. So okay, ये वाला ठीक है. Here you can see the Q point logo. Now this Q point logo belongs to only Q point logo. If another company, another edtech company comes and start using Q point logo, then that will be not right. Suppose Tata का ये बन गया ना, ऐसा something like that, huh? Or Mercedes-Benz we have something like that, right? Right? So why don't you see any other large company using Mercedes-Benz ka symbol? Or India mein to even in Toto you will see Mercedes-Benz. That is a different issue. I am talking about large companies. I am talking about registered companies, right? I am not talking about Toto. Or else यहाँ पे तो Tata का logo कहीं भी कोई भी use कर सकता है. And even in some bikes I have seen in the rural areas of Bihar that okay, Tata, Mercedes-Benz. Even in certain trucks you see. Not Bharat Benz वाला truck. Bharat Benz तो is actually Mercedes Benz का India version, but Mercedes का symbol is there. ठीक है, Audi Udi, Reebok, Nike, Adidas Abibas, ठीक है, Puma, whatever. So many things are there, right? So that's why to protect these infringements, to protect plagiarism, you need intellectual property protection. And one more thing is there, literary work. Suppose if a shayer has written a shairi, suppose if a singer has sung a song, suppose if a lyricist has written the lyrics, right? Or if a musical director has composed a music, right, for a particular song, then that can be copied now. Although India mein they copy, Pritam Dada, but then what generally happens? They will not copy it exactly. Why? Because then copyright will come. In YouTube video, thank you. Right? YouTube video, what they do? They will cut some part or they will like modify it or they will like put it blank or mute or do, you know why? So that the copyright cannot happen. So there are 3 major portions that I'll explain in intellectual property. One is patent, other is trademark, and the third one is copyright. Patent is for scientific evidences and creation. Always देखना कि scientists if they have done some invention, they will call it patent. Patent is used to protect the scientific evidences or the scientific inventions, technical inventions, right? Like iPhone is the patent. ठीक है? Now we come on to trademark. They are used to protect the branding and logo of the company. Trademark सुने हो ना? Trademark क्या करता है? The symbol, the logo. और जैसे why in SBI का tagline is the banker to every Indian. Why this tagline cannot be used in another? Why? LIC, जिंदगी के साथ भी जिंदगी के बाद भी. Why it cannot be used in any other ad? Because these are original logos, original taglines, original brand making strategy. So it cannot be copied. Last but not the least, we have copyright that protects the original literary work of the author or the lyricist. मतलब जो भी ज्ञान का उपज, जैसे music, संगीत, like lyrics, right? Then you have poem, shairi. Example, Mona Lisa, paints. These are original literary works, na? Premchand ka, there was this book, Godan and Kafan. So if you don't have the copyright, anybody else can copy that story with slight modification and will sell it as his own. So that is a violation of the intellectual property right. So we have three things which are patent, trademark, and copyright. Patent, original scientific work; trademark, branding, logo, tagline; and copyright, original literary works of the author. Now these things have validity and you have to renew that validity. Trademark has a validity of 10 years. Patent has a validity of 20 years. And third, copyright is 60 years from the date of the death of the musician or the lyricist or the author. Suppose if Lata Mangeshkar has sung a song, then the copyright will start right from the date she died, or Pritam died, or any other, like, or Michael Jackson died, or whatever. Understood? 60 years from the date of the death of the author. So I'll again repeat because it has been asked several times. तुम लोग पेपर देखे होगे previous year, है कि नहीं हर्ष? It has been asked or not? So first thing is validity of the copyright is 60 years from the date of the death of the author. Validity of trademark is 10 years and validity of patent is 20 years. Patent are of three types: design, utility, and plant. Any plant or animal species if I have found, then that will become, it is also scientific. Design, any machine design, any car design, any computer design, any interior design, whatever I have done, that is also my scientific creation. And then design and utility, any machine that I have designed that is specifically for utility purpose, like any new version of washing machine, any new version of microwave. So that is also patent. So patent is classified into three things: design, utility, and plant. Now there is one thing called trade secret. कोई सुना है ये word? Trade secret, right? So trade secret, it was not there previously, but it has been added. It is the fourth intellectual property. Nobody, मतलब सब लोग इसके बारे में ज़्यादा नहीं जानते होंगे. Patent, most of you have heard. Trademark, most of you have heard. Copyright, most of you have heard. But trade secret, I don't think that all of you. How many of you have heard about trade secret? Trade secret, मतलब your company is doing something. Let us talk about Maggi. Maggi is selling noodles, right? But there is something that makes it different from yummy noodles or Chang or whatever जो भी आता है, Sunfeast का कितना सारा, right? There is something that makes it different, right? Have they given you the link? अरे बोलो यार link ने. Link आ गई ना? One moment. You have sent it in 2 pages, na? ठीक है. And 25 and good. So all of you have got the notes. You can give me my copy back. ठीक है? Understood? So the third one is trade secret. So Maggi is very different from Yippee, right? Why? Because Maggi के अंदर what if I start sitting like this ऐसे एकदम बाबा बन के? So Maggi के अंदर there is something called a different masala that makes it different from other. And Maggi is, of course, so many items have come and gone, but Maggi is constant and Maggi is the tastiest. Maggi से बढ़िया कुछ भी नहीं. It's very honest. You can make chocolate Maggi, corn Maggi, cheese Maggi, momo Maggi. You can make different type of Maggi, but Maggi is constant. There is something that makes Maggi different from other customers, other products. that is trade secret. That means in your business, in your partnership, in your venture, in your production, there is something unique. Maybe a secret recipe, maybe a secret method of procurement of raw materials, maybe a unique method of developing it. Something can be very unique, and that secret cannot be. The Amrutulya chai in Madhya Pradesh. Amrutulya Manohar, same thing only, the Baba. Ye wale Amrutulya, wo wale Amrutulya, Anushri Amrutulya, Tanushri Amrutulya, same only, na. The masala or whatever chai patti they put, that is their trade secret. That makes it different from the one chai wala that is there on the streets. So I understood that is trade secret. So basically a trade secret is a secret recipe or a method of procurement of raw materials or a method of production, right? Or any other specific trick or strategy that the company uses to make its product stand out among the crowd, right? So that is called trade secret, and there is no time limit or expiry date of a trade secret. No validity, something, nothing like that. Okay, understood? Okay. Now, let me talk about a very important concept which is called decacorn, unicorn and all these. So first of all, various types of startups are there on the basis of their valuation. Valuation matlab us company ka worth kitna hai. Valuation refers to the worth of the company. If you look at the first class, I have told you, it basically depends on a lot of factors. That means, jarur, if your company is selling 1 crore, then that does not mean that the valuation of the company is 1 crore. Valuation matlab aapka share kitne mein bikta hai. If 1% of your share goes at 10 rupees, then 100% of your share will go at 1000 rupees. 1000 rupees, na? So what is the valuation of your company? 1000 rupees. Got it? So that is valuation. It refers to the worth of the company. It is calculated on a variety of factors. All these top investment banks and all, they calculate the value of the company. Like Google right now, Apple right now has a valuation of $4 trillion, which is higher than the GDP of India, right? Huh? If you talk about Nvidia, which is the most valuable company right now, Google and Apple, these three companies alone are having a valuation of $13 trillion, which is 3.2 times of India's GDP. And their population is 1/5 of India. Udhar 25-30 crore abadi hai, this we have 150 crore. So one GDP you try to understand. GDP matlab total amount of consumption, expenditure, government, export, import, everything. So if I am going outside and I am taking a 10 rupee ka tea, that means I have contributed 10 rupees to the GDP. So see, we keep on talking about 4 trillion economy, but I will tell you I'll tell you a more statistical, interpretation that we have 150 crore ka abadi. Even if everybody drinks chai ka cup, every day, so 150 into 40 rupees, how much? Huh? 600 and crore. So 600 crore to ek din mein sirf chai ka cup se GDP ban jata hai. So GDP is that, right? Amount of production, goods, everything. You are giving fees here. That is also contributed to GDP. So if we look at that way, then 4 trillion is look. Japan ka population is 1/10 of ours, and they are just 4.187 we are, they are 4.186. So of course we should be proud of our nation, but then we should not be proud of false numbers. We should understand what is the reality. We should be technically, economically sound enough to understand what is going on in the background. Understood? So where was I? I was on? No, उससे पहले क्या बता रहा था? Google. Valuation. Valuation refers to the worth of the company. So first of all, we have a unicorn, a startup that has a valuation of $1 billion. That is a unicorn. Then we have a सब notes में है, तुम notes क्या बना रहे हैं? जैसे करने करो, no problem. Decacorn, a startup that has a valuation of $10 billion. Gazelle is a startup that is showing signs of becoming a unicorn in the next 2 to 3 years, right? Maximum 3, minimum 2. Why? Because currently it is at a valuation of $500 million से लेके $1 billion से थोड़ा कम. So कभी भी it can go to that $1 billion mark. So right, it is extremely growing at a rapid pace. Understood? Then we have a cheetah that will become a unicorn in the next 5 years, because currently it is at a valuation of $200 million से $500 million. So maybe from 500 to 700 it will go in 2-3 years, and from that 700 to $1 million it will go in under 2 years. It is also growing, but not at that fast a pace as the Gazelle, right? Now another term that I will explain you is elevator pitch. Now you made your product and everything. For that you need funding. You will go to the angel investor, you will go to the venture capitalist, you will raise your funds. For that you need to deliver your idea. जाके बोलना पड़ता है ना, ये शार्क टैंक में these guys and they pitch their idea. So that is called elevator pitch. The first time you pitch your idea to an angel investor or a venture capitalist, maybe not only your idea, but brief description of the company, brief description of the product, if your product is saleable right now, the amount of revenue that you have generated, or maybe even a brief idea about you. So elevator pitch is the short, brief description about you, your idea, or your product, right? Another term that I will explain you is seed funding. Suppose we have gone up to the alpha version on our own money, matlab on bootstrapping. Bootstrapping is the funding that is done by oneself, right? Own pocket and or personal funding. Now we talk about seed funding. अब हमारा पैसा, the money that we have invested is gone. ठीक है? So now we will have to raise money from the market. We will have to raise money from the market, right or wrong? So what I will do, I will go to investors to ask for money. So seed funding is the amount of fund received at the preliminary round of funding itself. Seed, बीज, जिससे पौधा बनता है, right? Sapling. So that seed is the first amount of funding that you get outside. So seed funding is the amount of money or the funds that you get at the preliminary matlab the first stage of the funding itself. Now there are also certain organizations that help boost your startup. They are called incubators and accelerators. Incubators आपका हाथ day 1 से पकड़कर आपको minimum viable product तक ले जाएंगे. Accelerator आपको minimum viable से लेके beta तक ले जाएंगे, right? So incubators are basically those organizations that help a startup right from the initiation stage till the finalization of the minimum viable product. Whereas accelerators will accelerate your business. मतलब you have that basic setup, ढांचा है, MVP है, now it will push it to the beta version. So accelerator are those business organizations who will push and accelerate your business rapidly from the MVP stage till the beta version stage. Example, nowadays all IIT and IIMs have IIC, Institutions Innovation Council, and Incubation Cell. Jahan pe if you have an idea, the institution, IIT or IIM will give you a space and it will even give you initial funding to, to amplify that idea into a basic product, maybe a prototype or even a MVP. Understood? So IIMA to has a fund for it, endowment fund, and IIMA ventures are there, right? Got it? So now few questions are also there that I have given here. 3-4 questions that I'll discuss. If you look at the notes has been provided in the group, right? Notes are there in the next page. Okay, before that. Okay. Ab I will tell you the entire model. You will develop a product, but that product is there for what? That product is there for a business. That product is there for a business. So you need to have your business model. What is a business model? Business model is basically a conceptual structure. मतलब तुम अपने दिमाग में एक project strategy. You are making a project or a strategy that okay, what my business will cover, what will be the scope of my business, what will be the budget, how will I cater to the customers, right? My business will look after what products, how can I expand it, right? Later on, what can be the other venture in which I can move, right? How will I get money, earn money in my business? How will I get money from the banks? How will I return money to the investors? What should my business primarily focus upon? Like means if I am opening a chai dukan, imagine chai dukan, na, not a startup. For example, I am saying, not MBA chai wala. Okay? So imagine I am opening a startup, chai dukan, right? So in that chai dukan, what will be my business model? That how much amount of doodh and chai patti I will have to invest? what can be the number of customers that will come to my chai stall daily. I will estimate on the basis of that area. If it is a busy area, तो मुझे कितना कप चाय एक दिन में बिक्री करना पड़ेगा, उस हिसाब से I will have to get the raw materials. Suppose I have estimated that okay, 100 people will come and daily 500 people are coming, then to at the end of the day my raw material will only be will not be able to fulfill the demand. So people will say chai hai, nahi hai, arre, they will keep looking for other options. So your business will fail. So that's why the correct estimation is very important. Acha, with chai, what else you will sell? You will sell biscuit, papri, matri and everything. So that you also have to think, na? So this entire plan is called business model. Now revenue model, a conceptual structure that shows that from where the revenue will come. अब इसी चाय दुकान में from where my revenue will come? Only by chai or by biscuit also, or should I also place a cake there? So मतलब in the entire business model, a part is revenue model also. That will focus only on how the money will come. And revenue stream is the source of revenue. Who will be my source? The public जो वहाँ दुकान पे आके खाएगा, और आसपास में कोई बैंक के अफसर जिसको मैं जाके शाम को 4 बजे चाय पिलाऊंगा, या आसपास में कोई दूसरा बड़ा दुकान वाला जिसको जाके ऐसे चाय आई हैव टू गिव. सो रेवेन्यू स्ट्रीम बेसिकली defines the source of revenue. I'll give you 2 examples. 2 new revenue model are being used. Freemium and pay-per-use. Freemium, it's a combination of free plus premium. That means certain services they will offer you for free to attract you, entice you, and then certain services they will demand extra money from you. And they will entice and attract you and trap you in such a way that you will be forced to use that extra leverage, and or we can say that extra added benefit, extra subscription. Example, Spotify, which I gave last year also. Example, Jio Hotstar. The first 15 minutes of a cricket match they will show you for free. अरे अब तो यार मैच बहुत अटक गया यार, क्या करें? Please log in and then subscribe. And then when you subscribe, 799 yearly रे, 899, whatever. I am garib aadmi, don't do. I use passwords from my friends and everything. Okay. No, my friends are more garib. They use my Netflix account. So what I'm saying is premium. Some of the service they'll offer you free, and some of the service they will charge money from you. So that services will be premium. So free plus premium, that becomes premium. Spotify, very good example. Spotify में you can listen to songs forward free. But अगर मान लो गलती से if you skip a song and if you go back, then for that you need premium subscription, right? Then also ad free, YouTube and all these. This is freemium. Ad देखो तो okay, नहीं तो you have to pay. And next thing we have pay per use. Pay per use. Pay per use means the more you use, more you have to. That means Google Cloud. 15 GB comes automatically with your Gmail account. Next 15 GB every month you have to pay 59 rupees. So the more you use, till 15 GB I will not ask you anything. After 15 GB every month I use around 27 GB because I have so many documents, data, books, PDFs, office work and all. So I am paying them 59 rupees monthly because of using that extra cloud space. Understood? Now I'll tell you the entire startup. Basic समझ गए पूरे startup का. Now I'll explain you the entire startup process. First, ideation. This was about the product. I am telling you overall about the startup. First, you need ideation, of course. In ideation, everything will come. Idea, proof of concept, prototype, minimum viable product, alpha and beta version. Then you will also alongside need a co-founder, because you alone cannot do everything. You will need a co-founder who can be a chief technological officer who will look after the technical part, or he can be an operations officer, COO, or he can be the financial one, CFO, or he can be the one who will do the marketing. So he's the CMO and everything. Is that understood? Suppose even if you are in a startup ना, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि you have heard about sleeping partner, active partner, commerce वाले. So if you are in a startup na, and you are a CTO, CFO, suppose Aman Gupta is the founder of both, but apart from being the co-founder, he is also a CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. For that CMO work, for co-founder work, he is holding some shares, but for CMO work, he also takes salary. For example, suppose Shobhit sir is the founder of QPoint, right? But the amount of classes that he is putting in as a faculty, for that he will take his salary. Understood? That's why you need co-founder and CMO, CTO And if you have them, you have to give them salary. These are as per the norms of Companies Act 2013, right? Memorandum of Association, Article of Association, which I talked about. So ideation, co-founder. Then you come to the prototype, alpha beta version. Then you have the, now product is complete. So now you will make your business model, revenue model. Then you will make your business plan. What is the business plan? Business plan is a written document. How many of you have seen how a business works? और पापा लोग business में है, चाचा मामा पापा दादा कोई है? See, business plan is a written document that contains कि मुझे अगले 5 साल में कहाँ जाना है, अगले 10 साल में कहाँ जाना है, अगले 1 महीने में कहाँ सेल करना है, कहाँ से पैसे आएंगे, कहाँ पैसे जाएंगे, मेरा आसपास कंपटीशन में कौन है, मेरे पास कितने एम्प्लॉई हैं, उनको सैलरी कितना देना है, मेरा बजट कितना है, मेरा एक्सपेंस कितना है, रेवेन्यू कितना है. So business plan is a written document that contains long-term goals, short-term goals, milestones, timelines to achieve those milestones, how much of the revenue I am going to generate from this model, what is my budget, what is the salary I am going to give, what is the expense, who are my competitors, marketing strategies, competition strategies, all these comprise the business plan. After business plan, the other thing that you have is business model, business plan. Then you have the branding and registering of the company. Now your company is complete. So you will do that trademark, logo, patent, everything, right? Patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright. And last but not the least, now you will go for funding. Now funding, first of all, either it should be bootstrapped, funding by oneself, or seed funding, or crowdfunding, or personal funding, or peer-to-peer funding, basic stage. Then angel investor will come in, then venture capitalist will come in, then series funding, again and again you will get funding A, B and C round 1, round 2, round 3, बार बार उठाओगे पैसा. Then you will launch your IPO, then you will get listed in a stock company, and then like Paytm and all, your company will be listed in the stock market, and then public will buy your shares and you will get money from the public, right? However, there are 4 broad classifications of a funding: royalty, debt, equity, convertible debt. Equity means you are taking the money and on behalf of that you will give them shares. Shares matlab, if my company ka profit is 1 crore and if you hold 1% of that company, then you will also get 1% of the profit. Royalty, if a company, jaise, see, if I talk about MBA chai wala, now he opened his outlet at one place, but now he is having several, right? So that doesn't mean कि सारा branch उसका है. He might also sell his name, right? So this Amrut Tulya, not the original Amrut Tulya maybe is at Nagpur, but here people are using their franchise, their name. For that name, they will have to pay them an yearly or a monthly, whatever is decided between them, that amount. है कि नहीं? मैं आपका नाम इस्तेमाल किया, उस नाम के बदले मैं आपको पैसा दूंगा for using your name. Why do people do that? Because खुद का नाम बनाने में क्या पता 20 साल लगे. To make your own company's brand, you might also take 15, 20, 30 years, or the brand might not even be made. ठीक है. So many noodle companies came na. Even Yippee is not as branded as Maggie. So many insurance, private and public sector, only private companies are there, Max, Bupa and all these things. But still, you know, जिंदगी के साथ भी, जिंदगी के बाद भी, LIC. So the brand matters, right? Suppose anybody is selling chai and you see one Amrut Tulya chai, you will go and drink because Amrut Tulya has made a brand. So I am using that brand. For that brand of yours, जो आपने अपनी इतनी सालों के मेहनत से बनाया, I am paying you a royalty. But of course, I will not sell my brand to any individual ऐसे for free. I will have certain terms and conditions. That, see, अगर मान लो 10 people are using my brand and any one of them does bad, then ultimately the brand will also suffer. Na? It is also carrying Newton's law of Newton's third law, action reaction. If good is happening, then bad might happen, right? Suppose अगर ये वाला Amrut Tulya in Samdarya gives you a very bad chai, then outside you will not say that वहाँ चाय खराब मिला. You will say that Amrut Tulya chai is very bad. So because of that one outlet, the entire name will suffer. For that purpose, there are various conditions also, that I will give you my name, but you will have to follow the strategy, the plans, the executions that I will make. ठीक है? You use your team, but the idea, the strategy, the trade secret will be mine. I'll share the trade secret with you. Understood? Now debt means I am borrowing money from you. For that I'll give you interest also, maybe at 10%, 12%. You see Shark Tanks na, they tell you na, I am 1 crore hai, I am giving you 50 lakhs for 5% equity, rest 50 lakhs for debt, right? Then you have, last but not the least, convertible debt. Suppose I have taken 1 crore loan from Suditya. देगा भाई? ओ देगा, वापस नहीं दूंगा. बातें तो इतनी भरी भरी, देखो. So suppose Suditya has given me 1 crore loan. 1 crore loan. Now 3-4 years I pay him the interest and I tell him that mera business, my business is growing. I don't want to return you the fund because I have utilized it. And I don't want to pay this 10-12% interest. Ek kaam karo, the amount of money that is left, suppose I have returned him 25 lakhs. 75 lakhs is still left, bhai, manna mat. 75 lakhs is left. For that, you do one thing, you take 7.5% of my equity. So what once was a debt became an equity later. So convertible debt means a debt that can be converted into equity in the future, whereas non-convertible debentures are also there. That means those debt that cannot be converted into equity in the future. Okay? Understood? Now let us deal with a few questions. Okay, first question. In the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in the 7th page of my note, we are doing the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th page today. 8th page तक भी हो गया. ठीक है? So 7th page में the first question is, a working model of the startup product is confirmed as meeting the specifications in the testing stage. The first, let us discuss the options also. Ideation stage. यहाँ तो we have only produced the idea. Then prototyping stage. No. Basic structure. Marketing phase. Marketing तो तब करोगे ना तब तुम्हारा product complete हो जाएगा. So which is the most feasible option? Testing stage. Okay. अच्छा, validity. चलो, we have done, not done, हाँ? मतलब हो गया ना? Now another question. Business plan does not include what? Long-term goals. मैंने कहा it does include. Competitive strategy and marketing strategy, of course, that is also your part of the plan. Sales targets, kya target rahega, milestones that you need to achieve. But work culture is not included in business plan. How my manager will treat my employee, that I will not think in the business plan. Na? Mera employee, when will he have lunch? Nobody thinks about that. All businessmen, to they are heartless. Paisa. Businessman. Next, which of the following are to be considered about the market while launching the product? First of all, before launching a product, you need to understand that how big is the market. Not size, that Sadar Bazaar we will go. Sadar Bazaar is 2 kilometers long, very big market. No, that does not mean the size of the market, right? We are not talking about area. Kitna wide matlab kya area? Scope of the business. Suppose if I am entering into a doodh wala market, then everybody drinks doodh. So the market is huge. Suppose if I am entering into Ferrari wala market, not everybody drives a Ferrari. People with 1 crore, they can. 1 crore. ठीक है? So not everybody will drive a Ferrari, so here my market will shrink. So first of all, you need to understand the size of the market. Then you need to understand the number of players in the market. That means competition. केवल आप ही दूध थोड़ी बेच रहे हो. 10 other people are also selling the milk. Competition or the players in the market. Third, trends in the market. Suppose today you are launching this Sony Bravia TV, LED TV, smart TV is running. अब smart TV के trend में, if you bring that wala TV, cathode ray telescope, then will that be feasible? Nobody will buy it na. Today if you start producing our tick wala mobile, nobody will buy it. So you need to understand the trend in the market, right? कि अभी market में, if I remember correctly, then during my school days, ये ऐसा एक formal pant आता था जिसमें ऐसे बीच में यहाँ पे क्या तो बोलते थे, फ्लेयर या क्या बना होता था, 1-2 क्या तो बोलते थे, स्केल कुछ तो बना होता था. बट अब वैसा फॉर्मल पैंट नहीं चलता. ठीक है? एंड अब यहाँ नीचे चिपका भी आता है, लड़का लोग का भी लड़की लोग का भी, राइट? अब तो सबको सेम करते जा रहे हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. कपड़े को इक्वालिटी. ठीक. इवन I am seeing boys with choti and with like वो hair band and everything. Interesting. They look nice, cute. So what generally happens is, where was I? You need to follow the trends in the market. Another question is there. Before choosing the type of financing, what should we understand? मतलब कहाँ से पैसा ले, किस तरह का पैसा ले, what type of funding should I take, from where should I take the funding? I should know that the company who is funding me, उसका asset size क्या है, is he good enough to provide funds to me, right? Then prevailing interest rate, of course I will also look after the interest rate. Someone is offering me 10%, someone is offering me 9%, I'll go for the 9%, right? Assets of the company, prevailing interest rate, and right, availability of funds. Suppose I am asking for 1 crore loan. This company is saying that I can right now give you 50 lakh for 9%. Rest 50 lakh I will give you 2 years later. Another company is saying I am giving you 1 crore but 10%, and I am giving you 1 crore abhi right now. So I will take that na. Why I will take that? Because I need funds right now. So that is my priority. भले ही 1% ज़्यादा देना पड़े. So to choose the type of financing, you should understand that the company's assets कैसा है, quality of the assets, or the size of the company or the asset of the company. Then prevailing interest rate, of course, and whether the fund that I am asking for is available or not. Last question, why should an entrepreneur do a feasibility study, right? Why should I talk about the proof of concept? Why should I talk about the feasibility study? So that I can estimate the return on my investment. कि भैया द अमाउंट ऑफ मनी दैट आई एम पुटिंग एंड माई इन्वेस्टर्स आर पुटिंग, क्या वो पैसा वापस आएगा? विल आई अर्न प्रॉफिट? सी एट द एंड ऑफ द डे everybody does business to get profit. Nobody does business for the matlab, even if we talk about social entrepreneur, there are different issue, but overall a commercial person will jump into the business venture just to make profit, right? That is your sole purpose. You are solving a problem, okay, but at the end of the day अपना पैसा लगा के तो solve नहीं करोगे. You need funds, right? You need to give money to your investors, नहीं तो investors जूता मारेगा. ठीक है, आई विल टेल माई डैड कि पापा 1 करोड़ दो, आई वॉन्ट टू स्टार्ट अ बिजनेस. ओके बेटा ले लो, 5 साल हो गया, आई एम रिटर्निंग हिम नथिंग. वॉट डैड विल डू? बेल्ट ए बेल्ट. Possibility is there, all possibilities are there, so that should not be the case, right? Understood? ठीक है. So now certain other terms are, अच्छा अब यहाँ तक I have already discussed ना, elevator pitch और ये सब तक. Now important shark tank terms are there, 24-25 terms that we will discuss tomorrow. ठीक है, very important. So how was it? मजा आया? Brilliant. So go home, revise it, watch the videos, take some value addition notes जो मैं बताता हूँ ना, read the notes, again watch the video, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा बोलता हूँ मैं तो उसको लिख लो. बाकी आई थिंक मोस्ट ऑफ द थिंग्स आर रिटन ओनली. ठीक है, चलो दैट वाज इट फॉर टुडे. बोल दो सर को. थैंक यू. सर कल सुबह है क्या गेट वाला है? कितने बजे खत्म हुआ?